North, south, east, west, the deal, milk gang. Y'all already know how it's gonna go. And to the ones on their first time log in, welcome to It's Milk TV. Go ahead and smash that subscribe and that like button for me. Now let's go. So a video hit my desk, and they saying that it might qualify for a Gilligan of the day because an adult speaks on how he joined a street gang in prison. So we gonna go. Let's log in and see what's the script. Come on.
Get to Tehachapi Prison, you feel me? Bam.
Tehachapi Prison is the same place where that situation just took place with Tory Lanez.
So we were all watching TV one time. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling these who I am, and I'm telling them my whole little history. My grandpa from Luders Park, and they're like, hell yeah, right, that's right, homie, that's right. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real with that. I ain't never officially got my put on. The big homie that I'll be talking through in the vent, he come throw his arm around me. Hey, blood, let me holler at you, man. Then he take me over there to the table with all the Damus, and they like 10 deep at the table. And they like, look, blood, you need to find who you gonna be under, and you need to see what car you gonna ride with. And I'm like, well, you already know my situation. I've been claiming Piru. I ain't got my official put on. So bam. So they got me at the table, and they like, you need to figure out what you finna do, bro. You know, you been claiming Luders Park. You ain't really got put on. And then the big homie just say some real shit. Like, bro, you grew up in our area. You grew up, you know some of my homies. You went to school with them at a young age. You know what I'm saying? You just know, like, you need to be, like, where you closer to the home. So, bam. So, I'm like, you right. You feel me? I'm far from Bompton. You know what I'm saying? Just in my head, I know when I get out, I wouldn't know Bompton streets. Like, I would know going through Pomona. Like, I would know going through Chino, going through Montclair, Upland.
That's strange. He can't say Compton, he gotta say Bompton, but he could say Chino. He could say Chino. Like if you gonna say, I don't know the streets of Bompton, like I know the streets of Beano Hills. Why you ain't saying Beano Hills? Why you saying Chino? If you could say Chino Hills, you could say Compton. But if you can't say Compton and you saying Bompton, why you saying Chino? Why you not saying Beano Hills?
I know all that shit like this. Going through Bompton, I don't know streets. You feel me? Okay, so look, bro. So bam, after we get done politicking, and I'm like, yeah, I tell the big homie like, yeah, I'm gonna go under you. I'm gonna be your little homie. You feel me? He like, you know, you just need to make sure when you get out that you really tap in with us when you get out. You feel me? Stay loyal to your word. But like I told you, I've been banging Piru, you feel me, since 14. I'm used to saying, oh, what Piru you from? I'm saying all of them. You feel me? That's just how I was raised.
Stop the cap, bro. You been banging Piru since 14, but you don't know the Bompton streets at all? You don't know nothing about the Bompton streets, but you've been banging it since 14, and your grandpa from Luders Park. Stop it. And you didn't grow up. You was not raised to say, oh, I'm from all of them. No, you wasn't, bro. Nah. Now, you got that from the Hoovers. Or, you know, you got that from, like, some Crips that said that, bro. You wasn't raised to say that, low. But you couldn't really say no specific gang. You had to say all of them. You thought you was outsmarting somebody by saying, oh, I'm from all of them. I ain't going to say I'm from one specific Piru because I ain't got put on.
It's just how I used to talk back when I was 13, 14 years old, especially with this Piru shit, you feel me? So bam, that's just what I used to say. So me just like going from one Piru to another is not no big thing to me, you feel me? And then really being able to go see my peoples when I get out. That was the main thing. And not only was my big homie in there, I had two other homies in there, you feel me? That I got introduced to, and he introduced me to them. And like, yeah, when blood get out, he gonna be coming over here, you feel me? So it's kind of like the same program. I just had to go over there to my area and just really learn about what was going on.
Look, the way I was raised up and what I just sit here and heard him describe, that's looked down upon on. That's considered weak. What I don't understand is how you been claiming Piru since you was 14 on the streets. You got a grandpa from Luders Park, Piru. Your grandpa for sure had a residence in the Luders Park, Pirus at one point in time. I don't know if they owned the house or whatever, but he had a residence over there. I am pretty sure. So you never went over there? How you don't know the Bompton streets, homie? You've been banging since 14. So you had to be around some other people that probably was claim banging like you. They probably went and got put on somewhere on the streets. Why you didn't? I don't understand it. You want me to sit here and act like this is okay? This is not okay. If that happened around my way, like if one of my homies ran into you in the pen and he felt like he wanted to promote your scene and have you claiming a set, homie, like you basically would become a crash test dummy. In all actuality, that's all you would be. I'm not saying this is not normal kind of to see. Like this happened, homie. I know a few people that's from my community. I won't say no names, but they used to be from other areas and people know. But like I just described, homie, they low-key like crash test dummies. And I'm just being real. If you meet my homies in the pen, you are a adult male. Obviously, you don't have no real history. You don't know nobody. It ain't like you saying you from Piru, but you actually done been on Spruce Street. People know you on Spruce Street. You done congregated and hung around people all over there. Your face wasn't known. Nobody knew you, homie. You was claim banging in Pomona, Montclair, and Upland. You was fake banging out there. And I doubt that you was running into any actual Pirus or they allies, fool. Like you can't, I would never sit here and just say this okay. Now I'm not just saying he was a buster. I'm not saying that he's a hook because of this, but like I said, it's looked down upon on. It is considered weak, homie. Like if you was banging that hard and you was telling people, oh, I'm from all Pirus, then homie, how come you never made your way to actual Piru set and got put on? How come nobody that was around you tried to promote you? You wasn't around no other Bloods, no other Pirus. They didn't try to promote you. That's how the game go. If a member out here and they see somebody that's low-key active and you know they kind of fit the description and the criteria of a gang member, they gonna try to promote them. They gonna try to say, hey man, you should be from the set. Man, you from the set. Like, they gonna want them to be from the set. They gonna try to promote them. Like I said, it's not really out of the norm for people to get put on a street gang in prison, but it is looked down upon them, bro. It is looked down. Like, if he didn't bang and then he went to prison and he joined, like, the BGF or, you know, like a black prison gang, then that probably would have been a little different to me, homie. Like, okay, you went in there, you didn't bang, you joined the prison gang. Oh, well, cool. Salute to you or whatever. But, like, for you to say, oh, I was just banging Piru since I was 14. If you pressed up on me, I was going to tell you I was from all Piru, homie. Nah, nobody tried to promote you. You didn't make your way to no Piru hood, bro. So you end up going to prison and you end up letting a blood from Pomona promote you. You didn't even go nowhere close to your grandpa or your uncles. Like, you didn't go to Bompton. You didn't go to Bompton because you didn't know the Bompton streets, but you knew the streets of Chino Hills. But Mr. Blood, shouldn't you be saying Beano Hills? Bompton, Beano Hills. Like, come on, bro. What's really going on? See, you really don't know all the script because you got promoted in prison and got put on. And I start thinking all type of stuff. How did you get put on? How did they put you on in prison, bro? How did they put you? I want to know. Like, I start thinking all type of shit. That's why you can't do stuff like that, bro. I would have told them, I'm running with the Pirus, but man, I'm waiting till I go back on the outs to get put on. And if that's the case, I'm not joining in prison. I'm still getting active in prison. I'm still banging Piru, all of them. But I'll wait till I get on the outs. And then he said, you know, so I just got to get out and go over there to Pomona with my people. How is them your people? You really don't know them, none of them. You don't. If you know one or two, you don't know all them people over there, fool. You're going to be like the outcast. Ain't nobody going to know you. Ain't nobody really going to want to mess with you. Because you got all these face piercings. You got put on in prison. Like I said, that's considered weak to the people in the street. That's like some people, you know, on the outs, the gangbangers, they don't want you going to prison and joining a prison gang. You feel me? Have you heard of no cuts? Like, you feel me? That we don't consider that shit tough to go to prison and join a street gang. Or if you already a gangbanger on the street, you go to prison and join a prison gang. That's just is what it is. Like, that is what it is. Bro getting a negative 5.9 on the Gilligan scale. Because the way you acting like you was just turned up, banging all Pirus. When the ops or the rivals run up on you, then how you didn't get promoted on the streets? How you didn't make your way to the bumping streets of Ludus Park, where your grandpa was at, and get put on? Huh? Because nobody knew you. You wasn't going that hard, fool. This is crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, that shit don't really make him like a hook or a buster. But it's just not nothing to brag about. Like, it's just not, you don't get no cool points. Like, that shit not tough. Like, you low-key should have kept that shit to yourself. But you know, you had to get it out eventually because you heard of me. You know who I am. And you know, I would have found out anyway. And let the world know. So you like, man, I gotta go on and say this before Milk get it. And you know, man, he gonna apply pressure on me like I'm a Gilligan. That's probably what he was saying, tripping and shit. So he had to get on an interview and expose his own shit. But y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. Is it okay or not? What do y'all feel? And look, don't be no unsubscribed recurring viewer. No more, for real. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and that like button. Or you gonna land in a gallon of Gilligan juice in the pond right now, bro. I'm out of here. I'll log back in at the next video.